Hello and welcome to Wednesdays with Whitney, episode 8. Today I am here with Ivy Boyd.
Hi.
Who is a makeup artist and beauty blogger. And we are going to talk about makeup for your wedding day and makeup for your headshots. But we're going to start with the big topic, which is makeup for your wedding day. So, Ivy and I both spend a vast majority of our time shooting weddings, preparing for weddings, thinking about weddings, hanging out with people who love weddings. So combined total, I mean, how many years experience do you have in the wedding world doing makeup?
So I would say like 4.5 years in the doing makeup. I used to be a banquet server back in the day for weddings though. So I realized I've been working with brides for a really long time beyond just the makeup part. But yeah, doing their makeup probably 4.5 years now in the bridal industry.
Excellent. And I've been shooting weddings since I was in college, so we will not do the math on that. Hey. So first thing I want to talk about, a lot of people ask me, should I hire a makeup artist for my wedding day? And my resounding answer is, oh, please, yes. And it's not that we aren't all naturally beautiful. It has really nothing to do with that. A couple of the reasons that I always give my bride, and then I'm going to kick it over to Ivy to get hers, is that, honestly, I don't want you to stress about that on your wedding day, and I am a huge fan of hiring professionals and then trusting them to do their job. So Ivy is one of the makeup stylists that is very frequently at my studio, like 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah,
we see each
I
other.
should have a cot here.
You should really have a cot here. So Ivy, when brides approach you or they're even thinking about booking makeup, what are some of the reasons that you say that you should hire a makeup stylist for your wedding day?
Yeah, kind of like you said, it's not that I think, oh, you need lots of help or you can't do it on your own, because I know a lot of people that do a great job, you included, of doing their own makeup on the daily basis for work. But I would say first and foremost, this is the day you are going to be photographed the most you've ever been.
I take around 6,000 photos on a normal wedding day.
Yeah, think about that.
6,000 images.
6,000 pictures of yourself.
And then add in all the iPhones, all the grandma phones. Like, think about all the grandma phones.
Yeah.
And then how you want to look on the grandma phone.
Right. So you're never going to be photographed that much, that often, or that close up probably than your wedding day. And so for that reason alone, I think you need to pull in the big guns. Like,
big guns.
I guess that's me, the big guns.
She's the big guns.
And also, you know, I think that you can do a great job with your makeup on an everyday basis, but you may not have access to products that are going to photograph perfectly under HD camera work. And, you know, that's something that you should not have to even worry about the day of. And that kind of spirals off into, it's the last thing you should worry about. I mean, you have to be a bride, you're getting ready to become a wife or a husband, and so then that is not the day to also worry about being a makeup artist, you know? And I worry about that. I obsessively worry about that. It's all I think about is makeup. So I'll worry about that part for you. You worry about all the rest. And then another reason would be because that might be one of the very few times during the course of that day that you get to sit down. So I have a makeup chair, and the time you spend on my makeup chair might be the only like little moment of peace that day. And you know, because it's just you and me, and I'm kind of sometimes in small spaces, it's kind of like I'm guarding you from like everybody else. I need you to close your eyes. I need you to do what I tell you to do.
I need you to not talk.
Yeah.
Because like part of that is, part of the day is like, okay, I'm working with the mouth, I'm working with the eyes. Like you get a bit of peace.
Right.
I mean, not that you don't want to be surrounded by the ones that you love, and like that's a huge part of the wedding day, but believe me, you will talk more on your wedding day than you do like for an entire week.
And you'll smile more than ever. So you need to make sure that, yeah, you've got a long-wearing lip formula, that you're not going to get smile lines. Like, you know, the longevity aspect is probably another reason, just because like your products may not be cut out for the sweating, the dancing, the crying,
the sweating. Think about the
sweating. I mean, I get it. I feel you, sweaty girls. I am one of you. Yeah, so, and the weather too. I mean, that's unpredictable. That's not up to any of us, but you just have to be able to know that somebody is going to be there to roll with the punches and say, we'll figure it out. We'll do whatever we got to do that day. Maybe you have a breakout that surfaced 2 days ago. I'll deal with that. You don't need to deal with that. Give me something to do.
So one of the things that I like about working with a makeup stylist is that, you know, I'm a big fan of choosing the people that I trust the most and then being like, hey, so can you just handle this from here? So when I have Ivy do my makeup looks, I show her what I'm wearing, much like a bride would show the dress or the accessories. So can you talk about the process that you go through with a bride to get them really prepared for their wedding day once they've decided to work with you?
Right, so usually that would be at their bridal trial is when we would talk about their look, and I love to see photos of their dress, and most people have it, you know, that have a photo of them in their dress, which is fun. So I like to see their dress. I like to see if they have it flowers, because sometimes I will use like florals to pick up certain tones. And then jewelry too. I love to know if you're wearing rose gold, gold, silver, pearls, because those are right here, really close to your face. So I like to kind of go off of that. I have 2 different earrings on today, but so I on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a gold one, you know, and if I had gold earrings, I probably wouldn't want to do super silvery tones here, just because I kind of like to mirror off of that. So I like to see that. If they are wearing their hair up or down, sometimes I, you know, like to, you know, take that into account, sort of curating the whole look. And I also do ask, you know, are you going for a certain feel? If they tell me, oh yeah, I want old Hollywood glam, that makeup's gonna look different than I'm doing a boho chic rustic wedding. So I do like to consider all of the different pieces so that when it comes together, it is very thought out, just like a celebrity's look is thought out head to toe. It is not random. So
well, and one of the things that I find is that sometimes I am not, I can put stuff on my face, but I am not good at makeup. And if I'm trying to verbalize what my look should be, I might say something like, oh, I want 50s, I can't even, like, truly. And so Ivy might like do something and then be like, oh, no, that's not, like, I verbally said that, but that's not what I was going for. And really getting clear and having that bridal trial and saying like, okay, what I was saying was not what I meant, and like going through that process.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do like to see photos. And I encourage you to bring photos to your bridal trial, whether it's with me or anybody. I think that your makeup artist is going to love to see photos, not because you have to say, well, I found this image and I want everything she has on. I like to just see when I'll notice you'll pin the same thing over and over, and it doesn't have to be the exact look you want, but I'm like, okay, I can tell you are a fan of a smoky eye, or you keep pinning like nude lips and I don't see any lip color in these, so I know that you're not going to be a fan of a more intense lip color. So
but I think the other part of that is like, if you keep pinning a nude lip, but you're like, girl, that's not a look for you.
Yeah.
I want somebody to tell me that.
Right.
So I am somebody who wears a bold lip very frequently.
and very well.
Thank you. Today I'm wearing my neutral. But I have had, I mean, Ivy said like, that's not the color for you. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I needed to know that because I don't have an eye for that stuff.
Yeah, and I think a way of phrasing that is, you know, I'm never, like, I don't get joy from being like, girl, no, you can't. But I would say, would you be open to trying, you know, maybe a more mid-tone for you, you know? So I might try to like gently steer you in a way that maybe you wouldn't have considered. And that's why I'll take photos just with my iPhone and kind of see, okay, here's kind of what it looks like on an iPhone. And obviously you have, you know, a little nicer equipment you're working with there. But it also helps that I know your style and I know how you are going to, you know, put somebody in their best light. I know how these images are going to turn out. So that helps me even with makeup. I know that you aren't going to do things that are going to enhance unflattering shadows and things. So, but it helps for me to know the end product, your photos. That I even consider that. If I know your photographer and their style, I'll consider that too with your makeup.
One of the things, a lot of my clients are not big makeup wearers. Is that true? Is that normal? Most of my clients come in and they're very similar to me. Like if I get makeup on during the day, I feel like it's a big win and it's not a necessity in my life. Like it happens or it doesn't happen. I really don't pay a lot of attention. But something that Ivy always asks my clients that I really appreciate is that one of the first questions is, do you normally wear makeup? Because that's gonna make a big difference when you're looking at your face. I'm somebody who I can go, I mean, I never wear eyeshadow ever or eyeliner ever, but when Ivy does my makeup, she does all of that stuff. I love it, but she knows that like kind of where my boundaries are with how much I want. But when Ivy does my makeup, of course, I'm wearing way more makeup than I normally would, but I feel comfortable with that. And I think that that's something that people get a little nervous about on their wedding day. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yes, and you know, rightly so. It will be the most makeup you've ever worn in your life if you are not a regular full face makeup wearer, because it is a full face of makeup. And I'm not saying nobody needs that, I would say, but in photos it sure does help. And it's like an insurance policy almost, you know. I'm going to make sure every square inch of your skin is perfection. That's what we're all going for in the end. But yeah, it's going to be more makeup than you usually wear if you're not me. I do this every day. I like to. But I would say over 50% probably of my brides, at least, when I ask the question, do you wear makeup on a daily basis, they say no, nothing. So, and I think it depends on what they do. So if you are a nurse working an overnight shift, no, you're probably not doing a full face of makeup, and I don't blame you, I wouldn't either. So it's going to be for sure a step up, and probably a step up above that. But I think it can still be done in a way that you don't feel it. You know, you don't have that physical sensation of this is heavy. And also that when people see you, they still just think you look like yourself, but the bridal version of yourself, or the photo-worthy version of yourself, if you're just getting like headshots done and it's not your wedding day. Because that's another part of our relationship, is I see you so much just with headshots, not just weddings. After your wedding, then the next time you get your photo taken might be your professional headshot.
Yep. So, and that's it's a similar conversation in a lot of ways. So Ivy and I collaborate a lot on my professional headshot sessions that so many of you have participated in. Thank you. And when I come in, usually people are fairly familiar with me, but what they're really nervous about is getting their makeup done. And it's because so many of my clients wear little to no makeup on a regular basis, which I love. But for photos, some people say, oh, I want to go completely barefaced. And I'm like, you know what? I am the first person to walk around all day long with absolutely nothing on my face, but for photos, you better believe I am hiring someone to come in and do that. The reasons I really recommend it, though, are skin. Yeah. My biggest priority when I am photographing somebody is that their skin looks clean, clear, even, and amazing. So when I'm introducing Ivy to my clients, I always say, she is here to make you look luminous, but not to overpower your natural beauty. She's really there to emphasize it. We talk a lot about lip color because I think people see my lip color on a regular basis and they're like, I'm not doing that. And I see my lip color, it's literally the only thing that gets on my face on a daily basis. Yeah. So for me, I'm comfortable with that. But for most people in headshots, I always say, 1 or 2 shades darker than your natural lip color is what we talk about. So can you talk about prepping for professional headshot sessions? Yeah,
so like Whitney said, I totally get like the hesitation of, oh, I'm getting my makeup done. That feels like maybe you've had a bad experience, like with a counter or something, like 20 years ago. I ask that question. I ask, have you had your makeup done before? Did you like it? Because if they're like, no, they made my eyebrows really dark, then I kind of know that's a trigger for you. I'm still going to fill your eyebrows in, but I'm not going to copy and paste my eyebrows onto your face because that is not what most people are going for.
But I have great eyebrows.
Well, yeah, but a lot of them, they are what they are. But I do like to ask, if you've had a bad experience or things that you do gravitate to or you just don't like. Now I totally forgot what you asked me. Oh, headshots in general. Yeah. So yeah, so I do kind of the eyes. I'll kind of break this down. So like brows, I do think almost everyone needs a little brow definition, and that's mainly because if you look in photos that are, amateur photos, almost everyone loses definition out here. You can even see the light is hitting me right now, and I'm losing like the outer third of my eyebrow a little bit. So we kind of need to bring that back. Some people say they frame my eyebrows. Yeah, they frame your face. I kind of say they frame your eyes. Maybe not your whole face, but this whole area, yes, they are like the window treatments on your windows to your soul. They're face curtains, whatever. So brows, yes, important. That doesn't mean you need an Instagram brow. That doesn't mean I'll use different products depending on the effect. If someone has really full eyebrows, I might just use powder. If I need to create more Hairs, I'll use a pencil. So it's not one size fits all. I'm going to look at you and adapt it to you and your preferences. Eye makeup wise, I am going to do a little more on the matte side because a lot of shimmer is going to photograph like white specks sometimes, or it's just going to be a little too frosty. So we're going to probably use a little more matte textures to contour an eye area. Lashes for sure. Whitney likes lashes.
I love lashes.
Yes, but they don't have to be like heavy butterflies on your eyes. I use a really specific kind. I always trim them to fit your eye so it's not going to feel like you're weighing down. Skin in general, yes, I'm trying to I want my makeup to look like skin, and I always say I don't want someone to look at a photo that Whitney took and the first thing that they should think should not be, oh my gosh, who did her makeup? I want them to say, gosh, that girl is so beautiful. So I don't want them to see the makeup, but I do contour for photos, and that's something I don't think you need to do for everyday life, especially if you're working in like an office. Why would you need contouring and fluorescent lighting? But for photos, when you're very evenly lit, you can sometimes lose some definition in your face, and so I do like to contour for photo reasons. And then we've moved on down, yeah, lip color. And I do ask, you know, do you wear lip color, or are you more of a lip gloss chapstick person? That's kind of my way of saying, do you not do it at all? Because if someone's like, oh, I wear a red lip every day, then it might not look like them without it, but for the most part, yeah, kind of a mid-tone is going to be best for balance. That's kind of the overall thing I'm going for when I show somebody at the end. I say, is anything jumping out at you in a way that's bothering you? Because I feel like if your makeup looks really nice and balanced, you shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, those eyebrows right away, you know? And this is one of my favorite things I heard for bridal makeup. It should be, here comes the bride, not here comes the brows.
I like that.
Yeah, so if something jumps out at you right away and makes you uncomfortable, I want to know that, because that probably means it feels unbalanced to you. I want everything to kind of be an even plane here, but then not doing too nude of a lip. So if you're not a lip color wearer, doing like too nude almost photographs as though you have no lip definition. So I want you to have a mouth in your photos. That's important.
Always a plus.
So if you're a no lip color wearer, or you're like, oh, I love nude lips, I'm probably gonna talk you into nude plus a little pink, nude plus a little peach, or something to like flatter your skin tone. But yeah.
And at the end of the day, when I am going through images, or I am getting somebody prepared, or if I'm retouching somebody, the thing that really always stands out about people who have had professional makeup done is that they really do shine. And some people are great at doing their own makeup, some people have great skin, some people don't necessarily feel comfortable with that. But I would say over probably about 70% of my clients come in and have somebody do their professional makeup. And really, I think the anchor of that experience is feeling taken care of. So I truly think that that's part of it for me. Yes, you're gonna look great and you're gonna have somebody in charge of that, but I really emphasize that your experience in my studio is very much about being taken care of start to finish. So not only do I help you design your clothing look, we talked about that last week, but also having Ivy come in and do your makeup is designing your makeup look. These are things that most professionals aren't worrying about on their day. And then I completely and totally take care of your photographic look and making sure that you look exactly like you, just the best version of yourself. So, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for tuning in, and replay people. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.